is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. And he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene.
That's police, law enforcement there just a short time ago providing an update on the shooting at Florida State University in Tallahassee. And tonight, 2 people are dead and 6 are hurt, including the shooter who is in the hospital. The 2 killed are not students. And as you just heard from police, the shooter has been identified as the son of a Leon County Sheriff's deputy. The shooter apparently gained access to one of his mother's guns. Joining us now to talk more is Joe G. He's a spokesperson for XSponse, an artificial intelligence security system that provides detection and alert notifications during emergency situations, specifically school shootings. And you may also recognize him as an actor from The Sopranos. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Anna.
So how do you rate the university's response so far from what you've been able to glean from media reports?
Well, I guess they responded as quickly and as best they could. I don't know how long it took them to get there. I seemed pretty quick, but you know, they did the best they could, and I was in that situation.
All right. Well, I was just scrolling through our story coverage here on NewsNation because we, of course, were watching this as the details were unfolding as well. And the school sent out several emergency alerts to students there. And they said they would be using a safe word, seminal. They were telling everybody to shelter in place and that law enforcement would use the word seminal if it was clear for them to open up the door and they would then be safe. But we believe what we're learning is that this shooter, they believe he was a student. So he presumably would have gotten the same email. How dangerous is that?
There's so many things that you have to factor in these situations, and new problems, I guess, arise. That's one of the great things that, you know, since I started working with XSponse, that their technology is able to do.
Right. So if you can tell us, how does XSponse work? And do you know, is FSU using your technology?
I don't believe it's fairly new. It's a really cutting edge technology.
Okay.
And I don't know, or I doubt if they are, but this XSponse allows like one button could be worn on a lanyard with teachers or whoever security in the building. And then there's like a base model that's attached to a wall. So pushing that button, because when a situation arises, you know, it's human nature to freeze and forget what you're supposed to do. So pushing one button, automatic door becomes locked. First responders are notified, cameras are activated, there's speakers involved, and it really helps everyone to the situation, locating perhaps a shooter, or perhaps it's not a shooting. Maybe there's a student going, you know, allergic reaction that's needs attention, or you know, maybe drugs involved. But you know, for shootings, it's just everything happens in once, and I don't think that anything that's out there like it.
Right. Well, it's great technology. How do we get it in more schools, especially when folks are dealing with these budgets, right? How expensive is it, and what's the timeline do you think that schools could start to use your technology?
Well, I think that it's again fairly new. I think it's very affordable, and with government grants and working with you know, one of our spokespersons that both of them, Ryan Petty and Andrew Pollack, had unfortunately lost children in Parkland shooting. And so they work very closely with the president, and he is a big proponent of school safety. And so grants are available, and they make it affordable because ultimately it's to help parents and kids.
Yeah, well, we will continue looking into it. Joe G, thank you so much for your time. Joe from XSponse, appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And there's still